before I get into the case, I need to talk about my childhood because they want to paint the picture as if we are animals. We didn't grow up the same. When I say we, I mean victims to the corrupt system. So I grew up in a very loving family. You can see the photos here. I grew up in a single mother household. My mom moved around a little bit because, my dad wasn't in my life and he didn't pay child support. So we had to move where there was, like the government assisted housing and whatnot. But I was always around family. I went to my grandparents just about every weekend. Grew up saying prayers every night. I grew up with morals. I'm not one of them people that grew up without morals and like savages. No, I grew up in a household with morals and structure. The system likes to paint the picture of their victims that they torment or ruin their lives, that they're horrible people without morals, because then it's like, okay, yeah, they're animals. They deserve the unjust treatment they're getting. But that's not me at all. I grew up in the country. I've been shooting guns since I was 5 years old. Hunting and doing country stuff. My family visited each other all the time. My mom was a city girl. I grew up in the country, and my grandparents were super country, so I did country stuff like this, always out in the woods, doing stuff like that, building forts, playing in the snow, peeling apples from the apple tree, all sorts of stuff like that. You can see here, it is my mom, my mom's mom, my mom's mom's mom, my mom's brother, and me, grandpa, so my mom's dad behind the camera, family events like that. And I've always loved animals. I've always been the biggest animal lover that anyone could have ever met, ever since I was a little boy, and I still love animals like that. I always had animals around, whether it was chickens or, cats, bunnies, whatever. Did stuff with my mom. I would actually go to animal shelters just to be with the animals because I loved animals that much. Like, it was my therapy. It was genuinely my therapy. Huge animal lover, could never harm an animal. But my mom ended up having some issues, so my grandparents adopted me at the age of 13, and then that's when I had one place I grew up in for the rest of, high school and whatnot, and that was in Reamer, Minnesota, out in the country. It was stable and whatnot, so that was good. So here, with my uncle and whatnot, I always looked to be, like, big and strong. That was always, like, in the country, everyone wants to be big and strong. Like, it's a sign of honor and pride, and the biggest and strongest people are the biggest sweethearts. It's like, we're the nicest people as well. And that's same in the fight community as well. The most capable are always the sweethearts. So I know they try and paint the picture. You can see here, Nana's so proud of how big I'm getting. She's showing off how, I'm becoming a man and growing into a man size. But, the court system really likes to paint the picture. Oh, if you're big and strong, you're a bad guy. No, country folk know this. The biggest and the strongest and the most capable people are the biggest sweethearts. That's how we're raised. And so, with my mom and whatnot, this is one of my last photos with her, but I got into boxing then. At first, I got into fitness for a few years of working out. That was my therapy, but then I ended up getting into combat sports, and that was my therapy to get through childhood trauma. I tried therapy when I was younger. That did not help out like combat sports. So I ended up, once I graduated high school, I graduated a year and a half early. I moved down to the Twin Cities from Reamer and started winning boxing fights and pursuing that career, making my family proud. Like almost any other man achieving success and status, I was getting admiration of new females. So I was exploring those options, and all of the problems that I'm going through in this whole case all ended up coming from this girl right here. Her name is Ashanti Gurdon. Her false accusations she made about me and lying about me. Basically what it was is this girl was really into really rough stuff in the bedroom, and I have the consent video to prove it. And when she gets salty that I don't want to see her no more, she changed the narrative into me being a woman beater. One of the first messages she sent to me before I ever met her was, I want you to tie me up and fuck me and don't stop even if I tell you to. The only reason I'm pointing that out is because it shows me that she's kinky and into that rough sort of stuff. We were messing around for a few weeks, and she told me she was going to go to this party back in Fargo, North Dakota. Going to a party at her old college. I was spending the weekend at my grandparents. She said she got blacked out drunk and that her ex ended up touching her without her permission, but I know how this girl lies firsthand, so I don't believe it at all. I told her I was uncomfortable with her going to a party without me, let alone a party where her ex is at without me, and she still went. So, she's not good news and not a quality woman that I want to be around.
I told her I don't want to see each other romantically anymore. Let's just be friends. And she had a panic attack. She asked me to bring her to the emergency room because of that. And I knew that she's manipulative. She's tried manipulating me before. I told her I'm not buying it. And so she asked my Nana. And she woke her up at 3 a.m. and asked my Nana to bring her. So my Nana brought her to the emergency room. At the emergency room, she said that I punched her in the face an hour ago and gave her a concussion. Nana brought her to the ER, so she heard her lie about me. And she said, cut that girl off. She's evil and she's lying about you. She's no good. So I cut that lying woman off, making false accusations about me at the doctor, saying I punched her in the face through the head and gave her a concussion. Before I go any further, I'm going to show the consent videos. Mind you, she came to me asking me for this stuff. I did not reach out to her asking if I could do this stuff to her. She reached out to me asking for this.
I give Caden consent for CNC, which means non-consensual sex, but basically, like, he can still fuck me even if I don't, like, yeah.
What's your name?
Ashanti.
And who am I?
Caden.
I want you to rape me.
But when it came to, like she was laying on me and she was like, I want you to rough me up and I want you to leave marks on me and whatnot. Because that's what she ended up, evolving into asking for when she got comfortable enough with me regarding that stuff. So I was like, okay, I need the consent video. And other girls are like, I want bruises on me.
I want Caden to punch me in my thigh. I give consent.
That's what a healthy girl does when they're into that sort of stuff, of course, and they are doing the consent video. Well, this girl's ashamed of it. She's ashamed of it. So she went from laying on me, I'm like, okay, you want me to do that? Okay, fine. What? I'm gonna need a consent video. Fine. I record. She rolls over and gets all shy about it. Shanti Gertin, I consent for marks.
14, Shanti Gertin, 3/14, 2024, I give consent. Marks.
Slay.
You.
Because you like?
Rough stuff.
I've had girls asking for this before. Never had an issue with any girl doing this because it's all consensual. I don't go to girls asking for this. They come to me asking about this. Should have been a red flag how Ashanti got shy about it because she was ashamed of it. She didn't want anyone to know about it. And the girls that are into this sort of stuff that watch this, they will know what I'm talking about. They're gonna agree because when they make the consent videos, they're gonna be like, yeah, like I just asked for it. They don't shy up about it. That's a huge red flag. I did not notice. I'm stupid for not noticing that. I admit it, but I was naive. I did not think a woman would be this evil because I grew up with good moral people. And so I just didn't process through my head. But this right here is a huge red flag. I should have noticed, but I was too naive to. Those that know fighters know that real actual fighters, we're sweethearts. Like we don't beat people up because we're stressed out. We have the most self-discipline because we can just go to the gym and let out our stress. Here is a quick video that proves my point. This is how us fighters are. Us real fighters, this is how we are with civilians. So you can see this black guy barking at this white guy. The white guy is a trained killer and could absolutely really harm this person. He could end his life with his hands, but he just chooses to walk away when the black guy is barking at him. When this guy is a killer. This guy is an absolute killer of a fighter, and he could have destroyed that guy, but he doesn't because he has self-control because we can just go to the gym and let out our stress. This is how we are. Actual fighters, we're not women beaters. Okay? Not at all. I'm not a woman beater. I've never been a woman beater.
Hi guys, I'm eating some food, some dinner with my love. I love cooking for him. I love him so much. How long have we been together for? More like a year and a half?
Coming up on that.
Yeah.
Am I a woman beater?
No.
Yeah, I would punch you in the face and give you a concussion.
No. Guys, if you did, you'd obviously see it. And I wouldn't be with someone who did that.
No, she would not, because she's like the most delicate girl. She's like fine china. She's super delicate.
I'm very, very, very sensitive, and Kaden knows that.
And we've been together since June of last year, 2024. Like a couple months after this bullshit.
No, July.
July.
We met in July. And I am the happiest girl in the world. Anyways, we're gonna go enjoy dinner now. Bye.
I'm not a woman beater. Why would I be with the most delicate girl for forever? Not forever, but over a year. If I'm such a woman beater. Use your brains, guys.
This woman asked to be roughed around. I was like, okay, I can do that. That was a huge red flag. I was too naive to see that she was shy about that sort of thing. On Jesus' name, I'm not beating women. I was not beating her. She asked for this stuff. I just did what she asked. We fast forward. When she was at the ER, she ended up saying to the people, the doctors, the nurses, that I punched her in the face and gave her concussion. I was 250 pounds at the time, peak bulk. She's 120 pounds. A man twice her size punching her in the face would do a lot of damage, but at least leave a mark. A trained fighter punching her in the face would at least leave a mark. It would do a lot more damage than just a mark, but it would at least leave a mark. Let alone a trained fighter, twice her size, punching her in the face. There would at least be a mark. People that actually know this stuff know there would be way more than a mark. Like, her face would be broken. There would be the craziest marks. There was not a single mark, mind you, by the way. And she was like, at the doctor, after the panic attack. Yeah, like an hour or two ago, he punched me in the face and gave me concussion. She was examined. Not a single mark was shown ever. Got brain scans and no head trauma whatsoever on the MRI, on the CAT scan, nothing. They examined her. No lumps, nothing anywhere. Not a single mark, not a single bruise, nothing at all. That's where like the allegation started. And so when she made that allegation, my Nana told me because, she brought her there. I was like, okay, I was gonna still gonna talk to her, we could have been friends. But after that, I can't talk to her because she's an evil person. That's evil. That is absolutely evil. And America is fucked up for allowing this sort of stuff. In the Western countries, girls can just make false accusations without any proof and get away with it. When they get proved wrong, they don't suffer any punishment, when they should be suffering the punishment that the guy would have suffered. I'm gonna show the videos now and the text messages. Not all of them, there's a lot more. I'm suing her. February of 2026, I have the court date where I'm suing her for personal injury and defamation. It's gonna, that case, I'll post the results of that case. I'm suing her big time. Here's some of the evidence. Her chasing me, stalking me, trying to fight girls I was seeing. Her coming into my home when it's just me. I was genuinely abused. I was actually abused. Like, my mom would drink and turn into a completely different person and beat the shit out of me when I was a boy and a baby. Well, less when I was a baby, more when I was a boy, but a little bit when I was a baby. So I went in foster care throughout my life. I was genuinely abused. And being genuinely abused genuinely made me almost not love my mom. It built resentment to where when I was in foster care, I wasn't really so much like, oh yeah, I want to see her. This is an insult and mockery to people that were genuinely abused. Someone that was genuinely abused does not pursue someone like this. I would come home and see her car parked up front, and then when she saw my car, she would take off. She was stalking me. Who has ever done this to someone that has abused them? Trying to fight girls I was seeing. Hundreds of calls, texts, voicemails. I'm gonna play some of the clips and show some of the texts that went up. The order for protection ended up happening 2 days after another time she came over. She came over with her sister. Her sister was supposed to wingman or whatever. I don't know what her sister was doing there. But Shanti's 22, her sister's 18. Anyway, she came over with her sister. Call me a piece of shit. But this girl attacked me, making those false accusations. I took that personally. So when she came over with her sister, I was hitting on her sister. Or you think I'm a piece of shit douchebag for that, but this girl has been putting me through a lot of trauma. I kind of wanted to get back at her, and I hit on her sister. And after weeks of stalking me, I only was seeing her for a few weeks when we were actually seeing each other and messing around and whatnot. And then she was stalking me for a few weeks, about the same time period we had been seeing each other. That's how long she stalked me for. And then when she came over with her sister that one day, I was like, I don't want you around. You do not have permission to be here. Please leave. And then she was talking. I was like, to her sister, you're kind of cute, blah, blah, blah. 2 days later, that's when the order for protection came. In the order for protection, I'll post a picture of it. She said I punched her in the face, gave her a concussion.
Here she flips the narrative like she wasn't asking me for marks on her legs and arms. And then she says I punched her in the face and head and gave her a concussion. And an hour later, she was examined, not a single mark.
And she wants to order for protection because I'm stalking her or whatever, and she fears for her life. The woman was stalking me. and you're gonna find people that were actually abused. Ask them if they would ever do this to their abuser. The answer is, of course not. No one has ever done this to their abuser ever. The order for protection, you'll hear in the voicemails, she was like, okay, if you're not gonna see me, I'm just gonna find a way to fuck up your life. That was before I hit on her sister. When I hit on her sister, like all these texts of voicemails before that, where she told the doctor that, okay, you punched me in the face, gave me a concussion. So I stopped talking to her. And then she's like, okay, I need you, I love you, blah, 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 you're gonna hear it all. And then eventually near the end, she was like, okay, if you're not gonna see me, my parents have money, I'm gonna find a way to fuck up your life. And then, she came over with her sister, I hit on her sister. 2 days later, order for protection. I didn't care about the order for protection, I wanted nothing to do with her. She was stalking me, she was pursuing me. I didn't pursue her at all. Who in the right mind pursues their stalker? Who in the right mind says all this stuff that you're gonna hear and see and read to their abuser? No one ever. I showed this at the court hearing because I disputed it, not because I wanted anything to do with her, just because it would infringe my right to bear arms. She provided no evidence. I provided so much evidence, the consent videos, evidence of her chasing me, stalking me, saying the malicious intent. I proved the malicious intent of her saying, if you're not gonna see me, I'm gonna find a way to fuck up your life. And she also admits that she hurts people when she's hurting. So she's like, okay, I messed up. I had something great going on, and it was, it changed my life. She said that her life was black and white, and when I came into her life, it made it colors, and it made her life all the much more wonderful. When she's hurting, that she messed up, and the consequence is like, okay, I'm not talking to you, because that's evil, that's cruel, I'm not gonna associate with that. Then she's like, well, I'm gonna find a way to mess up his life, because I'm hurting, and when I'm hurting, I like to make others hurt. She admits that in a voicemail, because she sent me so many voicemails, hundreds of missed calls and texts. You're gonna hear this all. And when I proved all this to the judge, I'm gonna put the judge's name in this too. The judge, the original court hearing for this, she proved no evidence. All she had was her mother on the witness stand. Yeah, I would see marks on her arm. I saw a mark on her arm, and I saw marks on her legs. But mind you, Ashanti did not tell her mom she was asking for rough stuff in the bedroom. So because she lied, because she was afraid of, being exposed and her mother thinking differently, I'm not being exposed, but now I'm gonna expose her because she fucked in my life way too much. I have so much bullshit going on from this. I'm exposing, this is going global now. But before, she did not want her mom to know that she was, into that sort of thing. She was afraid her mother would look at her differently for knowing what she was really into, like sexually and whatnot, like being roughed up and whatnot in the bedroom. So her mom thought I was an abuser, and so her mom was like, okay, look, let's press charges on him. She's like, yeah, I want to fuck up his life. Mind you, she admits she likes to hurt people when she's feeling hurt. She's feeling hurt because I'm not seeing her no more, and I made her life colors from black and white. And so she was like, okay, let's do it. The only evidence she had at the hearing is her mom saying, I saw marks on her. I saw bruises on her legs. She asked for the bruises, so but the mom doesn't know that, okay? Mind you, at the court hearing, I explained all of this, but the judge didn't want to hear it at all. The judge was completely biased. Old woman, feminist, clearly, did not care at all. Ashanti kept saying, oh, I have a concussion. When she was at the doctor, she said an hour before that, I punched her in the face and concussed her. She got examined, not a single mark whatsoever. Nothing at all. Doctor reports to prove this. I showed this all at the hearing. The only evidence she has for having a concussion is the hearsay in her saying, I throw up and I have a concussion and I'm dizzy. This woman, when I met her, only ate hot Cheetos and drank like a fish, boozed nonstop. And I was like, wow, this girl's unhealthy. She would be throwing up nonstop. And I said this in court. I was like, she's always throwing up. Because she admits she has gut issues and heart issues and all this stuff. If you have gut issues, she was throwing up because of her gut issues, not because of me and that I concussed her. I said this in court. Judge did not care at all. Judge did not care. So she's trying to pin, she was throwing up way before she ever met me. Throwing up like crazy, unhealthy. She tried to pin it on me, saying, oh yeah, I'm throwing up because, I only throw up because Kaden gave me a concussion. The time I gave her a concussion, she was at the doctor an hour later, got examined, not a single mark, nothing. Brain scans, no head trauma whatsoever. So if you tell the doctors, hey, I'm dizzy, I have a concussion, even if they can't prove it at all or find anything, And even if you say an hour before that you got punched in the face and that's why you have concussion, and they examine you and see no marks, if you say, yeah, I have concussion though, I know you can't find any evidence or proof of it, brain scans, no trauma, you know, I got hit an hour ago, but I know you can't see a single mark, I got hit here.
Even if doctors can't find anything to support it.
The doctors will say you have concussion, all on hearsay. So that's what she used in the court. Her mom saying, yeah, I saw marks on her legs when she asked for them, because she liked, you know, really rough stuff. Okay. And so the only evidence, like, she didn't have any evidence. All she had was a doctor's note saying she had concussion. No marks, nothing. I shown the doctor report. There was never a mark, ever. Like, I'm not talking on her arm, you know, I'm like grabbing her, you know, and rough stuff in the bedroom. Or like on her leg from, you know, spanking and whatnot like that. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. I'm talking, she's saying I gave her a concussion by punching her in the face.
I genuinely never punched her in the face or head.
There's no proof. All it is hearsay, and the judge sided with her. When I have all of this evidence leading up to that point, before she did that, saying, look, I need you, I never felt so safe as I do with you, with anyone. But if you don't see me, I'm gonna find a way to fuck up your life. Because when I'm hurting, I like to make others hurt. I prove all this malicious intent and whatnot, and actions that and her actions are the opposite of what she says. In order for protection on me, when she was stalking and chasing me, you put an order for protection on someone that's chasing you. She was chasing me and she put an order for protection on this. None of this made any logical sense whatsoever, but the judge, you'll see your name in her court, how to contact her, because it's all public information. You can contact her and say what your opinions on this, and you know that she should, you know, you can say your opinions on it, but I'm gonna put her contact information in the description and probably in the video too. But the judge saw all this information and still decided to keep the order for protection valid because she sided with a woman. Despite all the evidence, she decided to side with the woman, completely biased. Mind you, Minnesota is an extremely liberal and feminist state. So I'm gonna point that out. The courts are also like that. You know, courts are very biased, judges are very biased. So the judge sided with the woman, despite having no evidence, all it is hearsay. You know, oh, you know, Caden, he's big and strong, and you know, he's strong, and you know, we don't like strength here. We like people to be weak, and so because he's strong, he must be bad. And like where I come from, to be big and strong is an honor. Like, we're all sweethearts and whatnot. She asked me for this stuff. I didn't come to her for this stuff, but the judge didn't care about none of that. Order of protection was still valid. Here's some of the stuff. There's more. It'll be in the court case when I'm suing here.
Please talk to me, Caden. I need to see you, and I love you so fucking much.
I'm gonna come over tomorrow, I think, so I can come talk to you in person. I know where you live. I can just pull up.
And I just miss your voice and your touch. I want you to know that I was never trying to hurt you, never trying to be mean to you. I was just like dealing with my own shit. Like, I had my own problems, my own family issues, and then I met you, and I guess, I don't know what my brain was, it was me. I was just, I don't know, I wasn't taking it out on you, but I was just very upset. But I hope you're doing good. Like, I feel really bad about everything that happened. I know I'm a shitty person, I fucked up, I'm annoying as fuck, I'm a bitch, all this other shit, whatever. And I know that. But I don't know, I just want to talk to you. Like, I want to be able to explain, like, my side of the story, because you only got to hear one side. I'm just very, like, sad. Because I want you to talk to me, I want to talk to you, like, I want us, like, I want to be with you. That's the only thing that matters to me. Like, it's not funny, but I'm, like, that's the only thing that matters to me, is that I want to be with you. My parents were like, oh, you need to push charges on this kid. But I was like, you didn't even do anything. Like, I really miss you, Caden. I love you so much. Like, I just want to be with you, and I want to see you, and I want your hands on me. Like, I want all of you, like, for me. And that's what I want, because I love you so much, and I miss you. I just really want to see you again, and I just want to be in your arms. and I feel safe in your arms. Start going back to the gym and crap and just want to be a healthier person. I mean, even healthy too. Would you be proud? I'm not saying like I'm like depressed, but when I met you, it was literally like black and white, and then I met you and everything turned into colors, which sounds like, oh my god, like, oh, dramatic, but it's true. Like, I just felt like a new person. I really hope that you have the best life because that's what you deserve. I really hope that I can be in that life with you. It's been so lost. I just want to see you. Really, 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 really want to talk to you and want to see you. And I'm going to come over to your house tomorrow. And I'm going to come and talk to you because that's what I want to do. Like, I am so sorry for being such a shitty person. Like, I was just upset with everything going on in my life. Very sorry for that. And I just feel like a shitty person because I know that I hurt you. And I know that I've hurt other people around me as well. In my brain, in my head, it's I hurt the people around me because I'm hurted inside. So making them hurt and knowing that I hurt them makes me feel like it sounds so shitty, but it just makes me feel better because I'm like, oh, they're unhappy, so I can be unhappy. Like I'm unhappy too. But if you're not even gonna like talk to me, I promise you that if my parents want me to press charges, and that I do, I'm not saying that I would, which I probably would never, because I'm very, like, I would never want to hurt anybody, like, I don't care. If my parents wanted me to, and they, like, give me ultimatums to do stuff like that, you would lose. We have money, we have all that shit.
She had come over multiple times after I asked her not to, and I don't want to see her no more, saying, I need to see you, I need to see you. She was trying to fight my new partners, because I moved on to new intimate partners, and she was threatening them and trying to assault them and harm them. She keyed my car. She would come over and leave when she saw me pull up in my car, because I was coming back from the gym. So now that we know the backstory to how the order of protection got into place, now it's time to go into the actual charges that are pending for me, which are completely unconstitutional and unlawful. So they're trying to hit me with a felony of false statement on a firearms form, and as well as a misdemeanor of attempting to purchase firearms while having an order for protection. The backstory behind this is allegedly I attempted to purchase a gun from a firearms store in the state of Virginia. What is a fact is I was down in that area, boxing in Baltimore. Now, it's not a very good area, not a good area at all. So it's common sense for someone, especially a country boy from the country where it's, safe, to want an arm to protect himself. So allegedly, I attempted to purchase a firearm for common sense reasons to defend myself while, across the country away from where this order for protection is, of which we all know I want nothing to do with her and never wanted anything to do with her after she made them false allegations against me and she put an order for protection on me just to fuck with my life because I hit on her sister and she was offended by it and I didn't want to talk to her no more. And she likes to hurt people when she's feeling hurt. But whether or not I did try and buy a gun from a gun store or not, the unconstitutionality to the statute makes the statute null and void, in which makes it cease to exist in the first place, and I cannot be charged with anything. Read the Constitution. It says anything that comes in conflict with the Constitution rights becomes null and void. So there's state statute they're trying to hit me with, which, by the way, statutes are not even law, but the statute they're trying to charge me with for violating, guess what? It's null and void. It doesn't even exist because it is in conflict with the Constitution. The right of the people to bear arms shall not be infringed, and an arm is anything that is an instrument for offense or defense. So all them gun regulations, you can't have this gun, that, you can't have a gun because you're a felony, it's null and void if you know your shit and how to defend it in court. Now, bar attorneys, which only know limited information because they just study for the bar, which is a private membership, and it's not even actually a license to practice law, it's just a membership, a private membership.
People like bar attorneys, they're going to be like, well, the 14th Amendment says otherwise. Well, the 14th Amendment was never ratified. In the 1967 congressional record says that, and it says it's unconstitutional, and so the 14th Amendment is null and void. So they have no jurisdiction to put me in jail, and I was in jail for 9 days before I got bail. So not only is this corporation, because by the way, the Commonwealth of Virginia or State of Virginia is an actual business. It's an actual business located on Dun and Brad Street. So this business is trying to make a transaction with me, and they're trying to charge me, but guess what? They're violating the law. They kidnapped me for 9 days on a bullshit statute, which doesn't even exist. It's not even an actual statute that is law. And on top of that, so ignore all that, put all that to the side. Don't ignore it, but put it to the side for now. Let's look at how they operate in their courtroom procedures in my preliminary hearing and how they break all the laws and their rules that they made up. They made the rules and they have to follow it. And they don't even follow their own fucking rules because nobody knows the fucking law and checks them on this shit. Look at this corruption.
And Your Honor, I put up a blue sheet as well, just to note that it's the Commonwealth's request and the defense objects.
That's fine. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Commonwealth's going to request a continuance on this matter. I'm
Why?
missing one witness, Your Honor. It is the first time up.
Well, that's when you're supposed to be ready. Go ahead.
Judge, and that's my understanding is that, the Commonwealth should be in a position to go forward today. The offense date is March 28th of 2025. The defendant was arrested on June 1st. Obviously, he's been waiting for today's trial date to, get today's preliminary hearing date to get some type of resolution to this. We're in a position, we're prepared to go forward today. And again, I think the, Commonwealth's lack of diligence in getting the witness here, they should have had those subpoenas issued. I mean, the case has been set for 3 months.
We'll reissue new warrants then, Your Honor.
Okay.
If the court is not going to grant a continuance. I think it's the first time up, but I think
I
Commonwealth should.
understand that you say it's the first time up, it's the preliminary hearing, and that's not, that's DWI's first time up, that's not preliminary hearings. Preliminary hearings are supposed to be ready. But I usually do ask, if he's asking for continuance, I usually do grant on the first time, so I'll give you one more chance.
Thank you.
And then we'll go from there. Get your witnesses here, no further for the Commonwealth. You need something that's different.
Yes, Your Honor.
12:10, Your Honor. I believe that works for all sides. I had asked this petition previously.
So I'm going to translate what happened into layman's terms to those that aren't adept in this law language and don't understand the legalese, which all legalese is they try and make words as complicated as possible and they make it its own language so people don't understand and comprehend what's going on, and so they can just talk their shit and no one catches them and checks them on it. So the prosecutor is not following the rules. He had 3 months to prepare for this at the preliminary, where he shows the evidence he has to try and show it harms someone, which is what, that's one of the 5 elements you need for a crime, a harm of someone. There is no harm of anyone because it's not that the black girl is saying I domestically abused her. She put the order for protection on me, but she did not try and say I abused her in the sense of like trying to get me in jail for that or try and get money from me. No, they're trying to charge me with trying to buy a gun. Trying to buy a gun is what they're trying to charge me with. They're trying to bear an arm, which this page is straight out of Black's Law Dictionary, 5th edition. Black's Law Dictionary is the book of law. But even the most ignorant judges and attorneys know that the Constitution is the highest form of the land. And the Constitution states anything that is in conflict with the Constitution becomes null and void. So the statute they're trying to charge me with is null and void. I'm of the people trying to bear arms. They cannot charge me with it. It's null and void. And it says in the Constitution also that judges are bound to follow it. They took an oath to uphold the Constitution, and if they do not follow it, then they are held under treason, which states treason is punishable by death. The prosecutor broke the rules. He's like, I know what the rules are. I'm supposed to be ready by today, but I want this to be treated like a DWI and not a pending felony case where, I have multiple times up and this is only my first time up. So I don't need to be ready now. I can be ready next time. That'll be my second time up. The judge is like, that's not the rules. That's for DWIs. You're supposed to be ready now. And he's like, well, I'll issue new warrants then. Which means he'll reopen the case, but the case needed to be dismissed as the prosecutor did not provide when he needed to. And so it would be case dismissed with prejudice, could not be reopened again. That is how it should have went according to the rules of procedure, but the attorney would not be able to reopen it.
But that's not what happened, and my attorney was not objecting either. My attorney could have objected correctly going on with all the rules being broken and the procedures not being followed and could have got it dismissed. But whether knowing or not knowing, my defending attorney did not say anything either. The prosecutor is saying, I know what the rules of procedure are supposed to be and that we have to follow. And we all have law degrees saying that we, need to know this and that we do know it. But let's break the rules of procedure. Let's break the rules and the laws that we made that we have to follow, because I think it should be like this. I think I should have a second time up. I know that's only for DWIs, but I think I should have a second time up. And if you don't do that, guess what? I'm going to reissue unlawful new warrants again. And the judge, whether knowing or not knowing, should have dismissed it with prejudice. And if she dismissed it with prejudice, the prosecutor could not have reopened this case and could not put out new warrants. But the judge did not do that. The judge did not do that, and the prosecutor got away with breaking the rules of procedure. Guess what? There was not even a court of record. A court of record is basically documentation of what is said and what happens during the court. It was not even on file. There is no court of record for this. There needs to be a court of record for pending felonies, because this is playing with people's livelihood. This could potentially put me behind prison for years, behind bars in prison for years. But there was no court of record because they don't want anyone to know that they're breaking the rules of procedure. So they have rules of procedure they need to follow, and they are breaking the rules of procedure. And the cop in the top right, the black guy, he's the one that got the warrant. He went to a magistrate saying that I've committed a crime. Well, one of the 5 elements to a crime is there needs to be an injured party. There is not an injured party. No one was harmed. And so he lied under penalty and perjury to a magistrate. And the magistrate judge did not even check the actual evidence of it and just signed it. So he got a warrant for my arrest without probable cause. Probable cause and it needs to be a factor of a crime, and a crime that needs to be an injured party. They got this, so he got me arrested without me harming anyone, which is not even an actual crime then. If there's not an injured party, there's no crime. The prosecutor had 3 months to prepare. He did not prepare. It needed to have been dismissed right there according to the rules of procedure. And it was not, because the prosecutor demanded that the judge break the rules of procedure and threatened to unlawfully arrest me again if she did not. And the judge, not knowing or knowing, and the defending attorney, knowing or not knowing, did not object and say, no, that's a break of the rules of procedure. You cannot do that because the XYZ case dismissed and done. No one did anything. They let the prosecutor get away with breaking the rules of procedure, which is treason. And then they delete the court of record on top of that. There was a court clerk there documenting everything, but they deleted the record. Let me know what you guys think. Call up them public servants and let them know what you guys think. Remember, if it's happening to me, it can happen to any of you guys, any of your family members, your mom, your dad, your grandpa, your uncle, your cousin, your spouse. It can happen to anyone. If one American's rights get trampled on unlawfully, anyone's rights can be trampled on unlawfully. We all need to stick up against these unconstitutional, unlawful corporations trying to violate our rights as Americans, because it's we the people against the corporations. We unite, and that's how we win.